Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome back to another episode on the Refuge. I am out here in the area. Oh boy, it's night. I'm out here in the area of Port Haven because I decided I wanted a little bit of work to be done out here. I have been slowly making additions to this area because this isn't ready to be used, hello creeper, for any of my questline stuff that I have planned for the server. It is just a a placeholder, and there have been some houses built, but this is going to be much more fleshed out, and that's going to be a project for much further down the line. While I was here, I came up with a uh, well, I didn't come up with, I solidified my plan for a place that I want to do some mega builds. And uh, I I can sort of get carried away with my builds, and I try not to for some of this stuff. I try to keep it mostly toned down, but I like to build big things, unnecessarily big things, very extravagant, not necessarily the most detail, but the size kind of compensates for the lack of detail. And one of the things that I have planned and am slowly working on already is an area where I can do just general mega builds. I may or may not include quests to go with them, but what I went ahead and did uh, was I picked a place, some far off place called Megadock, uh, where I want to build or want to begin building these mega structures. But this is just the access point to it. I've copied the ship. This is my generic fast travel ship that I use for, well, all the purposes of building on this server. Um, I have this area earmarked now for doing some mega builds. You can see a little something that I was playing with over there. But I want to have this be a reasonable looking landing place for people to arrive and start looking around. Maybe have, I don't know, a wall of or an alcove or something of warp signs to fast travel to individual builds, but I also want it to have a sort of road that comes maybe up this hill, diagonally across here, comes down this way, and then goes off in this direction over here. And then from this point on, I'm going to start making the area get used for the mega builds. I want to have is this it over here? This looks familiar. Is there a ship over here? Yes. I want to have the road come out this way, and then it will open up to just a vast, enormously long road that's just going to go on and on and on and on, and include all of these mega builds, whole districts set aside to make this look like this or resemble the theme of this or whatever. But before I start doing the mega builds, I figured I needed to have a place for people to get to the mega build area. And so I have in mind a plan to build I guess, the impact area, the landing spot for this. It's not going to be a sort of town or anything like that. Nothing special about the docks. I just want to, I want it to basically be impactful. I want things to be larger than life. I want the dock to be unnecessarily docky. I want it to be uh, big, and I want there to be structures that hint at the fact that there's going to be massive stuff off in this direction. So I'm thinking towers, gatehouses, wide arches over roads. I might have a hand at a statue. I don't know. I'm not really good at statues per se. Look at that standalone trigger cane just doing its job. So anyway, I think what I'm going to do is another time lapse because, well, for one thing, I have not been able to do much of any work this week with all of the snow that I've had to deal with, as well as the visits to the vet for my cat and other things like that have been going on. I have had almost zero time set aside for recording and working on here. So I'm going to see about designing some stuff for the Megabuildland or Megabuildland dock anyway, and see what happens. So I am going to get to it. For anyone of you who would be interested in seeing some of these builds in person, participating in some of the builds yourself, or just being on the refuge, I provide access to uh, all of my patrons to not only the refuge but also my Discord. In addition to the access to the refuge, those who are on the Discord get to participate in choosing some of the things that are going to be getting built here in Megabuildland. So this is a wonderful opportunity for you to participate in some of the future content and even help me out in the process. So if you're interested, I'll leave a link down below. But I'm going to shut up now so you can listen to my favorite record in all of Minecraft, Far. Well, that was quite the fun adventure. I actually rather enjoyed putting all this together, building the tree from scratch. That was neat. I have a glowstone in there so there aren't as many things spawning inside. I might do a little bit more lighting up in the tree. I haven't decided yet. But for future reference, I am going to be relocating not only this tree template that I put here, uh, but also the tower. I when I was doing the building the tree, you probably noticed during the time lapse I placed spheres of leaves, and then I just waited for them to decay down to where they detected nearby logs. Uh, these leaves won't decay on their own anymore because they are within a certain range of the logs, and it made for here. Let me make it daytime. It made for some nice texture there. I did, in order to trigger it, I took out 2% of the leaves. I replaced all the leaves with 98% leaves and 2% air, and it made a little bit of emptiness noise in there. I was thinking of replacing some of the leaves with maybe jungle or something else to add a little variety, and I may yet do that, but for right now it's adequate. I didn't want to do anything dangling down, any sort of, hi, you guys, any sort of decorative things. Oh, there's two of them there, neat. Get off of my porch. You too, go away, thank you. Okay, sorry about the booms. Anyway, uh, that was just a really quick slapdash tree that I tossed together. And you saw, hopefully, at the top of the tree where I have most of the leaves, I scattered some of the, well, I used lapis blocks and then changed them into, uh, what is it, log variant 12, I think. Let's see here. If I do that and I go replace near, let's go 322, I think, is the number for the lapis, and log variant 12. Yes, log variant 12 is the log with the bark on all 6 sides. Now this is 1.11.2, so there's not some of the other more recent options that I have, but at least I can work with that. I did, after I almost forgot, after I put in the towers and the walls and things, I added a couple more details. First off, these little stone brick stairs and blocks to this. Otherwise, it was just a bare cube of brick and it didn't look good. And I also inset this one a little bit. I think that's what I know I changed that, but there was another change that I did. I think it was on that one up there. But in addition to that, I also, for these walls, I went ahead and inset the diamond so that the bricks are better textured. Oh, that's something it occurs to me I need to change. I don't like that being buried like that. I need to go around and change all of those. So one of the things that this Megabuildland is going to include, and I mentioned this sort of at the beginning of the time lapse that I put in, which by the way, I just figured out how to use Audacity to try to get rid of some of that fizz noise that happens in my background. And I may try to do it for these clips too, we'll see. But what uh, what I was talking about in the time lapse at the beginning of it was I am going to be having this whole area of the map. This is if you go diagonally, it's like 190,000 blocks away from spawn. It is far away, and it's not going to interfere with anything. And I'm going to start building just these mega builds, and they're most of them are going to be based on different pictures that I have as wallpapers or just interesting saved images that I've gotten, and I don't want to necessarily exactly replicate them, but I do want to imitate them and base the images off of them. Are these? Oh no! Oh well, this doesn't need to be here. But what is going on up here? Is this because oh, this must be because of the redstone. Of course it is. It's affecting the trapdoors. Probably when I pasted these in. Oh, I had to change all these too? Oh no. Well that's not a whole lot. I didn't do it for that one. That's weird. The structures that are going to get built here in Megabuildland, I am having people on my Discord nominate things that are in the wallpapers channel, and there are 10,000 wallpapers, not just stuff that has builds, but 10,000 wallpapers, family friendly and all that kind of stuff. It's just uh, I I collect wallpapers. I have my desktop cycling through all 10,000 plus of the wallpapers at any given time, and it's a new wallpaper every minute, so I get to see wonderful things. Now, the problem with Megabuildland that I'm going to encounter is many or all of the images that are in my wallpapers folder and channel are probably copyrighted. And as a result of that, I can't necessarily put them on my videos for comparison. So, in order to see what the original images, it would have to be seen on the Discord. So, if you want to see that, and also just some sneak previews, or just participate in some of the things that are going on, and you want to join not only the Discord but also the Refuge here, any of my patrons are able to join the Refuge and the Discord. There is one thing in here that has bothered me, and you probably noticed it when I was building this if you paid close enough attention. This is the center line of the entrance, and the mast is 2 blocks over the center of the ship. I had to build this after I built the ship, and if I had known, I would have built this 2 blocks that way, but it's a little bit late to do that now, so I wanted to go ahead and take care of that. So let's see if we can figure out how to do this real quick. I'm thinking what I need to do is just move the ship in 2 parts, just scoot it 2 blocks that way. So let's select that. That should contain all the pieces of that. Yeah. Let's select that and then come over here. And this should be the extreme end of that. Let's get behind the ship. Let's come up all the way above all the parts of the ship. Select position 2. And let's see what happens here. I'm going to run into the wall. I'm going to stand on this block here. I'm going to go cut. I'm going to go 2 blocks over. And I'm going to go paste. Alright, that worked. And now it's going to need to be everything from this block over. So I need to select everything from there. Yes. Let's just come out this way. Come down here. And scoot just a little bit further over just in case. Set position 2. Just so you can see how I do this. Might as well. So let's go ahead and stand right here. Cut. Let the water do its thing first. Okay. Scoot over 2. And paste. And let's see here. Build that out. Build that out. And... oh, right. There we go. And... there we go. So now, hello sheep. Center. Oh, so much better. Ah. And this is accessible from the docks at spawn at Port Haven. Here we are back at spawn, and then back at the mega dock. And yes, it's a long walk, and what I plan on doing is for people to have access to individual builds that they want to see. Let's just make it daytime. Well, for one thing, I'm probably going to have a wall of mentions going along here talking about who submitted the nomination and all that kind of stuff, one build at a time. Maybe the date the different builds were and all that. And then over here, I'm going to have, oh, that's another thing I need to do, slabs. Oh, over here I'm going to have warp signs, or maybe not. I might have the warp signs over there. I'm going to do something over here. That's why I have the road built in this way. Let's see here. Anything that I wanted to mention? The way I did the road is kind of interesting. I used cobwebs, you probably saw, so that I could keep moving and be above where I wanted the road to be, and not being shoved out of the way one way or the other when I was pasting blocks, because you can fly through cobwebs. And I wanted to have the route planned out, and so then I added something with gravity that wasn't likely to be found. So there's not concrete, so there's either gravel, sand, or red sand. Well, this area doesn't have red sand, so there we go, red sand. It fell down, and then I placed under red sand, I placed bedrock, and then I got rid of the red sand and I widened the bedrock. Then from there I made the assorted blocks for the center of the path, and then a different assortment for spreading out. I started off with cobblestone for the main part of the road, but I decided that since this has the sort of reddish pinkish hues, I might as well do the granite for the roadway. And it's just it's rough enough compared to cobblestone that it works. As a matter of fact, in some respects, it feels like it looks like it could be a little bit rougher, so that's maybe a little better even. I was thinking of also doing some coarse dirt. I might still, but this is good enough. I didn't want to go overboard on vegetation, so I just wanted to have one major tree type, and then I pasted big trees everywhere using the /big tree command. And I like the way everything turned out. It's not too cluttered, and it's open enough. Was that just a ton of sheep? It is. Hello, sheep. Uh, it's open enough that you can look around, and I might still add a couple more of these pillars to a couple spots, maybe over there or over here, somewhere sticking out nearby, so there's a few more of them peppered around. But ultimately, it doesn't really need to be all that cramped. What this really, the purpose of it is to have a sort of impact area, so that as you go past it, you start entering into what's going to be the vastness of Megabuildland, where I'm going to be doing all of these wonderfully massive and large and probably server crashing uh, builds. I'm going to have to make sure I don't do too big of pastes because lighting updates will just tank the server. But that's the sort of plan for this area. Now, like I said, if you want to participate, anyone who is a patron can join the Refuge and also the Discord and also help select things and nominate them for the mega builds. I do want to get back to some of my own stuff, including Refugee to Regent stuff. I am on the Stone stage, so I need to continue work on that. So that's on my plate. But I wanted to get some of these bigger things and have a little bit more experience with doing the time lapses because I'm enjoying them, and also I feel you guys deserve to have some of the big builds. And I may not be the best at building, but I do enjoy what I do, and hopefully that effort is reflected in the output of this. But I'm going to go ahead and let you go. If you like this video, please leave a like. It does help. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And also, I will leave a link in the description to not only my Patreon, but also I have 2 books that I have published so far, and there are more coming on Amazon. And one of the books is a paperback, and both of the ones that I have up are in ebook, and they are vastly different from one another. So a couple interest ranges, one sort of thriller horror, one sort of sci-fi, and if either of those seem interesting, go check them out. But I'm going to let you go. Thank you very much for watching. I will talk to you later.